Hello beautiful people, Carl here from Brrraaains Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and the Howling franchise reviews continues. Howling IV, the original Nightmare, the fourth film in the franchise. Oh, it bucks a bit of a trend for the series so far by being a thoroughly serious film, even while having absurd moments. It's a film that ends up rehashing aspects of the very first entry in the series, while trying to stay better aligned to the source material, Gary Brander's novel. It's directed by John Howe, from a screenplay by Freddie Rowe and Clive Turner. Howling IV, the original Nightmare, is, well, putting it simply, quite unremarkable. Another entry in a franchise that should really never have been a franchise, but one that doesn't offend or anger, it just exists, and that is about it.
Everybody's worst nightmare has returned. It's known simply as the Howling.
Every night I've been hearing this howling. There's something so sinister about these woods. He's out there. I feel him.
There's no big animals here, Babs.
Don't worry. There's nothing in the forest to harm you.
Go away!
Go away, my child! The howling. She was never able to tell us what happened. The bite marks.
There weren't any bite marks.
The devil's hatred for God has turned man into a habitation for demons.
Eric's still out there.
Ruth was trying to warn us.
Robbie Windsor stars as Marie Adams, a successful writer under pressure. She's having visions of fire, monsters, werewolf kind of looking, and nuns, so suffers a nervous breakdown and ends up in hospital. Her husband, Richard, played by Michael T. Weiss, suggests they go away and spend some time in a remote cabin in the Californian town of Drago. A good idea, except the townspeople are odd and Marie is baffled by the constant howling she hears outside. So just what is going on in the town of Drago? Familiar sounding, right? In a way, this is basically a reboot of the franchise, but it's probably best to see it as more of a standalone entry. Most are, with the only connective feature being the title for the most part. Knowing that, it becomes a bit more watchable, but it still comes down to the same thing, which is how ordinary it is. An unexciting story, underdeveloped characters, average acting, predictable turns, a lack of humour, which weirdly I was missing in this film, and some really notably technical problems, issues here and there, but really obviously around sound. Notably the ADR, you'll really see it in this film. And also, like, this is a weird complaint unless you know this franchise, this movie is quite unsexy, which really might not seem like too much of a big deal, but this is a series, a franchise that kind of prided itself on being a bit sexy, even if it was weird. Hey, no kink shaming here at all, but Howling IV, the original Nightmare, is pretty damn vanilla. None of this makes the film notably bad though, except for one aspect that I haven't mentioned yet, and it's gonna be a deal breaker for many. Howling IV, the original Nightmare's biggest problem is its pacing, and it all stems from its desperate and pathetic attempt to try and make the story mysterious. Is it all in Marie's head? After all, werewolves aren't real, right? It's Howling IV. There is simply no reason to be coy here, and its attempts to dance around the answers means the film constantly grinds to a halt instead of ramping up. It is infuriating. All done in serious fashion makes the latter parts extreme gore. There's an imaginative melt scene transformation, makes all of that even stranger than it first seems. Considering very little happens for such a long time, the latter part of the film does get a little crazy, although it's hardly enough to save it. When it's all said and done, the summation of Howling IV, the original Nightmare, is that it simply exists. That is my review there. It is another entry in this franchise, and that is it. You won't really remember much about it shortly after you've seen it, but you won't hate it either. It's so in the middle. which is, for this series, simply isn't good enough. At least, even when they're bad, Your Sister is a Werewolf, Marsupials, and some of the later ones, they're memorably bad. This is just, It's Howling IV, the original Nightmare. You got any thoughts that you want to share me? You know what to do? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.